Hi guys, welcome to the Only Games Unreal Engine tutorials channel, and I will be creating an elevator system in this tutorial series, and this will be the first video that I'm going to prepare for the elevator system uh, tutorial series. And we will be creating a new project, and we will be start with the placeholder mesh to create the elevator system. And I will be using Unreal Engine 5.4 throughout this tutorial series, but please feel free to use any of Unreal Engine version that you can refer to Unreal Engine 5 or Unreal Engine 4, because I will not be using any new latest features that are only for Unreal Engine 5 or 5.4, but I will be using some of the new features, but also I will be showing how how you can do that this how you can do that the same thing in a previous Unreal Engine version as well. So this will be not will be a issue for you if you are using a separate version of Unreal Engine or old version of Unreal Engine. You can just go with the flow, and I'm going to try to explain everything in a slow manner so you can understand this concept very well, and you will be able to customize this elevator system for your video game based on your game design you have in mind. So I will be showing different methods, I will be showing different mechanics, how to use this elevator system, and I'll be showing you different methods of interacting. And yeah, and I have plans for creating a interaction system in the future as well. But yeah, let's get started with the elevator system. And you can see now I am in the Unreal Engine project browser here, and I'll be selecting a third person template here. Let's get started. So I'll be selecting the third person template, and for the project I am going to use blueprints. We are not going to use C++. And also to mention, I am not talking about the multiplayer part. This is not a replicated mechanic, so I will be only explaining this for the single player games, but I'll try to make a replicated tutorial as well. And our target platform and our quality preset will be desktop and maximum, and I will not be using any starter content or ray tracing features. And then first I have to put my project name. In the project name I will be using elevator system, and you can see that I'm typing elevator, and if I put a space, Unreal Engine says that project names may not contain a space. So uh, Unreal Engine uses Pascal case naming. That means you can't have spaces in between two words. To settle down with this, you have to start with a capital letter when you start a new word. So elevator system. So I put capital S and system. The rest of the letters will be simple, right? So elevator system will be my project name, and you have to create the project. And let's wait a little bit until the Unreal Engine editor opens up. Okay, great. Now we have our Unreal Engine editor, and first of all, I'm going to get this content drawer and locate in our layout. And if you know, and let's see, we can see the engine, and I'll be go to the settings and untick this show engine content so that we will not see the engine content. And our only folder we are using is the content folder, and we can create a new folder as underscore game. and this will be the main project folder that we will be using for our project to create new assets, to store assets that we are going to import for the elevator system or the whole project, and the external project files that are imported from the marketplace or the other team members when we are working on a team, those will be on a those will be outside the underscore game folder. So this will be the main folder that I am going to work. Therefore, I'm going to right click this folder and set a different color so that I can identify it very easily and quickly. Yeah, this will be good. And if I uh, if in case if I need this color again, I can drag and drop it in here to save it, right? Okay. Now we have our project folder, and I'm going to create a new folder called systems, and then inside the systems folder, I'll be creating a new folder called elevator system. And you can see that inside Unreal Engine, uh, in when renaming folders, you also have to use the Pascal case and not to include spaces between two words. So I'll be renaming this as elevator system, press enter, and now this elevator system folder will be the main folder that we are going to put our all the things related to our elevator system, right? And I'll be using the same folder, same underscore game folder, if I create uh, any other tutorials apart from the elevator system, right? Okay. Now we have our elevator system folder, and the first tutorial or the first video will be dedicated to will be dedicated creating a placeholder mesh for the elevator. So now we have to create the elevator system, but you might have your own 3D mesh with you. If you have a 3D mesh, you can directly use the 3D mesh, but I recommend following this method as well, because you might not have the finalized 3D model always for a system that you are going to create. So we will be able to create some placeholder measures using Unreal Engine modeling tools or the good old BSP brushes. And I'm not going to use any modeling tools in here because Unreal Engine 4 or older versions may be not having these modeling tools. Therefore, we are going to use this BSP brushes or the geometry brushes tool, so we can easily create a placeholder mesh for our elevator system, right? So this tutorial will be solely dedicated on creating this placeholder mesh, and in the next tutorial we are going to use this mesh to start our blueprint actor, right? You might be a beginner, and maybe you don't understand one thing that I have said now, but uh, don't worry, let's get started. Now, to make the placeholder version, let me play this a bit. Yeah, this is how you can play. This is the third person template, and this is the player controller that you will be having when created this template. All right, and now we are going to use BSP brushes. So what is BSP brushes? And to before we start making our placeholder mesh, I'm going to go for the characters folder that comes with the third person template, and there is this mannequins, and there will be this meshes folder, and we have our skeletal mesh for the many or the mannequin. Also, if you are using Unreal Engine 4, you will be seeing a mesh like this, right? You can get this skeletal mesh. For your reference, you can see that this is the mannequin for the Unreal Engine 4, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the version for Unreal Engine 5, but it's only a difference between the visual and number of bones kind of stuff. So I will be deleting that, and I'm going to use our Unreal Engine 5 mannequin, right? All right. So place your mannequin in the level, and I'm going to give 90 degrees rotation so that it will face towards our player character. And why we created this? Because we have to set some reference. We have to keep some reference so that we can define our size or the dimensions of the elevator placeholder mesh, right? So that is why this is here. And now we need a window. Yeah, go to window and get this place actors window, and you will see that uh, this kind of window that you can add different actors, and you can see that there is a row of tiny buttons, and there is this button called geometry. Go to geometry button, and these are the basic shapes that we will be having in geometry brushes to make complex shapes. And we will need only two box shapes, one for the outer cover and one box to carve into the uh, elevator interior, right? So I'll get one box. You can see that this is the dimension, so the width seems okay, but it will be good if we can increase the height. All right, so now I'm going to increase my height to 300. Yeah, and let's move this a little bit. Right, yeah, this will be better. I think it's a bit much. Let's try 250. Yeah, 250 will be much better. So you can use any of the dimensions, and sorry, I couldn't tell that you have to use this brush settings, not the scale. So if we are going to use this box geometry brush, you can easily go for the uh, go for these XYZ size settings, and scale and the size are two different things, right? And in Unreal Engine, we are using centimeters as our base unit. One Unreal Engine unit equals to 1 centimeter. So this means now the in the X direction, this box has 200 centimeters. In the Y direction, this has 200 centimeters. In the Z direction, it has 250 centimeters, right? That will be the uh, real size if we are comparing. And our character is about 180 Unreal units or centimeters. So regarding the scale has no unit, right? Scale is compared to original shape, what is the ratio that have been uh, changed. That is the scale, meaning of the scale. But don't worry, we are going to use this XYZ properties in brush settings to give the size of the elevator. And I'm going to use 275. That will be, yeah, that should be good. 275 will be good. And now we have our size. All right. Okay. Now, after setting up this, you can see in the outliner, we can see that this is the box brush, and I'm going to duplicate it. Right, I'm going to duplicate with holding Alt, you can drag, hold Alt key on your keyboard and drag or the move your geometry, and you can see there's this uh, instance or the duplicated 3D mesh. And now I'm going to set this brush type as subtractive. It means it carves any other box brush or the any other geometry brush. Now, if we get the location and copy the location and select the box brush 2 and paste the location, you can see that our box brush 1 will be carved or eliminated by box brush 2 because uh, the scale is the same, the location is the same, one edit, one is additive, one is subtractive, right? All right. Now we don't need this place actors window. Now I'm going to close that and select. After selecting box brush 2, I'm gonna reduce or I'm gonna subtract some units. From the y-axis, I'm going to subtract 10 units, and now you can see that our elevator mesh has 5 unit 5 thickness from both sides after deducting 10 units. And in the z direction, I'll do the same, deduct 10 units. Now I have 5 thickness from up and down, and I need an opening from the front side. Therefore, I'll be reducing this location from 10 units, not the x dimension, not the x dimension. I'm going to deduct from the location that will leave us this kind of shape, right? The box brush 2 will be moving forward and it only cuts the forward face, and now we have this. So this will be our elevator mesh. And now the next thing we have to do is set our pivot. To set our pivot, I'm going to hold control key from my keyboard and select the both of the brushes, and now I'm going to move it a little bit uh, upward, and there will be this feature. You can select the box brush and so select the select the bottom face of the brush, and then right click. There's this property called pivot, and I'm going to use set pivot offset here, and you can see that our pivot uh, can be snapped to the bottom face. So it is not going to be in the middle of the face or the center of the face, but it's not a problem. We just need to have our pivot in the bottom so that we can elevate uh, reference to that point, right? We have to move this elevator reference in that bottom point, right? You will be see that you will see that why this is important when we are doing our blueprint actor, but this is okay. And now I have to first select the box brush 2. You can see that its pivot is already on the middle as previously, but the box brush 1, okay, sorry, it is not, yeah, it has not saved. So I'm going to click again, pivot, set pivot offset here, all right, and yeah, sorry, think I have to do something else to store that. Right click, pivot, set pivot offset here, All right, and go to pivot again, set as pivot offset. All right, yeah, now you can see that the both since we have selected both of the brushes, it has moved to the bottom of the face or the bottom of the shapes. Now we are going to select both of these brushes and go to details panel, and there's this advanced section under the brush settings, and just click on this create static mesh. Now it will be creating a static mesh using these two brushes. Make sure to select both brushes because those two brushes will be contributing to create the final mesh. So we are going to rename the static mesh as SM underscore means the prefix before our actual name of the asset. SM refers to static mesh. So this will be creating a static mesh, will not be a skeletal mesh with bones. Therefore, we are going to put it this as static mesh SM underscore and elevator underscore temp. So I'll be using this suffix as temp because this will be the placeholder mesh. This will mean not the final mesh. And when we get the final mesh, we can rename it as sm underscore elevator, and we will be using that for the system. Right. Now we have set our static mesh name as sm underscore elevated underscore temp, and we can just create the static mesh. Now you can see that in the game folder systems elevator system we have this uh, static mesh saved, and you can open it up and you can go around like this. Now you can see this is our placeholder mesh for our elevator. Now you can create this with any dimension or any shape, any kind of other shape as you like, but this will be enough for uh, my system. And also, if you have modeling tools in your Unreal Engine, so modeling tools is not available for all the versions of Unreal Engine 4, and if you have this one, you can go to modeling tools and you can go to this Xform, and there's this option called edit pivot, and you can just hit on this bottom button and it will be creating it will be move our pivots to bottom center, right? So this will be really easy if we have this tool to adjust our pivot location. But yeah, if you don't have, you can just follow the previous method that I have shown you. You just have to right click on the face of the BSP brush, and you have to do that before you creating the static mesh, right? So you have to do that before converting the place, so converting the BSP brush into the static mesh, and you are good to go with the pivot. You does not have to have this pivot in the center of the mesh for exactly. We just need to be in the bottom, right? And now I'm going to accept this pivot, and I'm just going to go to the selection mode again. Now we have our elevator placeholder mesh. All right. Now in the keyboard, in your keyboard, there is this button called end, end. You can see that next to home button, you will be see this end button, and if you press end, it will be snapped to the ground. It will be snapped to the ground. Now you have your placeholder elevator mesh. Uh, Now we will be creating our blueprint actor. using this elevator mesh in the next tutorial, and we will be start our creating logic. And you don't need the reference mesh. No, yeah, you don't need this escape many reference mesh from now on. So I'm going to delete that. Yeah, that's it for the that's it for this tutorial. Let's wrap the session, and we'll be meeting with next video. Thank you guys. Thank you.